In a bustling office complex, a hardworking handyman named Marcus was known for his dedication and friendly nature. Marcus, a black man, had earned the trust and appreciation of most employees, always ready to lend a hand and fix whatever needed repairing. But one day, his world was turned upside down when he became the target of shocking accusations. A few colleagues claimed Marcus had stolen valuable items from the office, painting a picture of dishonesty that didn't match his character. The whispers grew louder, and soon Marcus found himself under scrutiny. As someone who always took pride in his work, the accusations cut deep. Marcus felt betrayed, wondering why anyone would think he could do such a thing. Just as things seemed to spiral out of control, the office manager decided to check the surveillance cameras to uncover the truth. What they discovered was nothing short of astonishing. The evidence didn't just clear Marcus, it revealed the real culprits. But who were they, and what was their motive? As the truth unraveled, justice was served in an unexpected way, leaving everyone stunned. Stay tuned as we dive into this gripping story of integrity, betrayal, and redemption. Marcus could hardly believe what was happening. The accusations felt like a heavy weight on his shoulders, pulling him into a situation he never imagined. He had always been honest, showing up every day with a smile and doing his job to the best of his ability. But now, whispers and side glances followed him everywhere. Some colleagues avoided him altogether, while others seemed eager to believe the worst. The items reported missing were small but valuable: an expensive watch, a set of headphones, and some office supplies. For Marcus, it felt like no one even cared to hear his side of the story. He'd spent years building trust in relationships, yet suddenly, it was as if all that didn't matter. He started to wonder who could have done this and why they would want to frame him. Behind the scenes, tension was building. The office manager was determined to find out the truth. After all, accusations like this could ruin someone's reputation. The surveillance footage was reviewed carefully, frame by frame, as the mystery slowly began to unravel. When the faces of the real thieves appeared on the screen, it sent shockwaves through the room. They weren't strangers. They were people Marcus worked with every day. As the office manager reviewed the footage, the air in the room grew thick with silence. Frame by frame, the truth came into focus. Two colleagues, people Marcus had worked alongside for years, were seen discreetly pocketing the missing items. The shock wasn't just in what they had done, but in the lengths they went to shift the blame onto Marcus. These weren't strangers or distant figures. They were part of the same team, sharing lunch breaks and casual conversations. It left many wondering, why would they target someone so well-liked and respected? Jealousy, resentment, or was it simply that Marcus was an easy scapegoat? The answers weren't clear, but the betrayal felt deeply personal. Meanwhile, Marcus remained unaware of what was unfolding in the manager's office. He spent his days trying to stay focused on his work, though the weight of the accusations was impossible to ignore. He'd catch snippets of conversations that stopped abruptly when he walked into a room, or noticed the judgment in people's eyes. For others in the office, suspicion and doubt started to creep in. Questions began to surface about the colleagues who had been so quick to point fingers. Were they hiding something? The tension grew as everyone waited for the truth to come out. The office buzzed with uneasy energy as whispers of the investigation spread. No one knew exactly what the manager had discovered, but the tension was undeniable. Marcus noticed the subtle shifts in people's behavior. Some offered awkward smiles as if they weren't sure what to believe, while others avoided him entirely. Still, he kept his head high, even as doubt and frustration churned inside him. Behind closed doors, the office manager was grappling with a difficult decision. The footage didn't just show the theft. It also revealed how carefully the two colleagues had orchestrated their plan. They were seen planting subtle clues to cast suspicion on Marcus, manipulating others into believing their lies. It was calculated, cruel, and utterly shocking. But confronting them wouldn't be simple. These were trusted employees, people with their own connections in the office. How would everyone react when the truth came out? And what would it mean for the team moving forward? The manager knew this would shake the workplace to its core, but there was no turning back now. As the day wore on, the tension reached a breaking point. An email was sent out, summoning everyone to a sudden meeting. Marcus, still unaware of what was about to unfold, walked into the room, his heart pounding. The truth was moments away from being exposed. The room fell silent as the team gathered, a sense of unease hanging in the air. Marcus sat quietly in the back, his mind racing. He noticed the two colleagues who had accused him sitting near the front, whispering to each other with nervous glances. Something about their demeanor felt off, but Marcus couldn't put his finger on it. The office manager entered, holding a stack of papers and a tense expression. "Thank you all for coming," she began, her voice firm but measured. "As you know, there's been an ongoing investigation into the recent thefts. After thoroughly reviewing the evidence, we've identified who is responsible." A ripple of anticipation ran through the room. Marcus held his breath, bracing himself for what would come next. But before the manager could continue, one of the accused colleagues stood up abruptly. "This is ridiculous," they shouted, their voice trembling. "We all know who's really behind this." The outburst caught everyone off guard, but what came next was even more unexpected. The second colleague quickly followed suit, pointing fingers and trying to deflect blame. Their panicked behavior only made things more suspicious. As tensions rose, the manager cut them off. "Enough," she said, her voice sharp. "You're only making this worse for yourselves. The truth is all here, on video." The revelation left the room in stunned silence, but just as the evidence seemed to close the case, another unexpected twist emerged. A third colleague spoke up, their voice shaking. "There's something else you need to see." The room froze as the third colleague stepped forward, holding a USB drive. Their hands trembled as they placed it on the table. "This has footage from the day before the thefts began," they said quietly. "I didn't think it was important at first, but now, I think everyone needs to see it." The manager hesitated for a moment, then plugged the drive into the laptop. The screen lit up with grainy security footage from the break room. At first, it showed nothing unusual. People chatting, grabbing coffee. But then, the two accused colleagues appeared. They were huddled together, whispering and glancing over their shoulders. Suddenly, one of them pulled out a notepad and started writing something down. The other nodded, pointing toward the maintenance closet where Marcus kept his tools. Guests filled the room as the pieces clicked into place. This wasn't just about theft. It had been a premeditated plan to frame Marcus from the start. The manager paused the footage and turned to the pair. "Do you have anything to say for yourselves?" Caught red-handed, they fumbled for excuses, but it was clear they had no defense. Just as the tension seemed to peak, the third colleague spoke again. "There's more," they said, their voice barely above a whisper. "I overheard them talking about someone helping them from the outside." The revelation hit like a thunderclap. Everyone turned to Marcus, expecting him to react. But instead of shock, there was a calm determination in his eyes. "Run the cameras from the parking lot," Marcus said firmly. "Let's find out who they've been working with." When the footage was pulled up, it showed a mysterious figure slipping into the building late at night, delivering a bag to the two colleagues. The room erupted with murmurs as the story took an even darker turn. It wasn't just about office theft anymore. It was part of something far bigger. The manager quickly called security, and the two colleagues were escorted out. Though Marcus was finally vindicated, the lingering question of who the outside accomplice was left the team unsettled. Marcus, however, couldn't help but feel relieved. His name was cleared, and justice was beginning to take its course. But deep down, he knew this wasn't the end of the story. It was only the beginning of uncovering a much larger truth. In the days that followed, the office slowly returned to normal, though the events left an undeniable mark on everyone. Marcus was met with heartfelt apologies from many of his colleagues, some of whom admitted they had been quick to judge. While the experience was painful, Marcus carried himself with grace, choosing forgiveness over bitterness. "I just want to move forward," he told the team. Intuit,